Welcome to Jam-Packed, Business Made Easy with AI. My name is Robin Anderson, and I'm the CEO of Jam.ai. At Jam.ai, we have a community where we are training thousands of small business owners every week on how to use applicable and everyday AI. In this podcast, we're focusing on the human side of AI. We're interviewing members of our community and understanding how they're using AI to save more time and make more money. We also practice what we preach. Every Monday, we're generating a podcast from our AI agent. You're going to love it. We have way too much content and not enough time to record, so it's helping us get this information to you. We'll buckle up, take some notes, and listen to what we're about to tell you. And if you want to know more, you can join us free for 7 days in Club Jam by going to Jamout.ai for more information.
Picture this. You've just dragged this blinding ring light out of your closet.
The classic struggle.
Right. And you've tripped over like 3 extension cords trying to get the thing positioned. So you sit down, you open your laptop, and you are immediately staring at an editing timeline that looks, it looks less like software and more like the control panel of a nuclear submarine.
It really does. It's so intimidating.
And after 4 grueling hours of, recording, deleting, stumbling over your own script, you have produced exactly 45 seconds of usable video, and you just feel entirely defeated.
Yeah, it is an incredibly common scenario. The mechanical burden of traditional video production, it acts as this massive gatekeeper.
Oh, absolutely.
You see brilliant professionals, people with incredible insights, simply opting out because the technical friction, the lighting, the framing, the timeline rendering is just too high to justify the return on investment.
Which is exactly why we are pulling apart this stack of sources today. Our mission for this deep dive is to map out the absolute best AI video creation platforms available right now for business owners and professionals.
And crucially, without the headache.
Exactly. And to be clear, we are skipping the developer jargon. You do not need to know how to code to use these tools. Okay, let's unpack this. Because these platforms have evolved entirely past the phase of being like cute internet toys where you make a deep-faked celebrity say something funny.
Right, the novelty phase is over.
Yeah. These are heavy-duty solutions for real work now.
They really are. The sources reveal this profound maturation of the technology. We're looking at a fundamental shift from viewing AI as a parlor trick to utilizing it as a foundational workflow tool.
A core piece of the business.
Yes. The underlying neural networks and compute power have advanced to the point where AI is now reliably augmenting human creativity.
So it's taking away the busy work.
Precisely. It strips away the repetitive mechanical labor of video production, the cutting, the color correcting, the audio leveling, and it allows the user to focus entirely on the overarching strategy and the core message of their business.
So if we are focusing on strategy, the first strategic bottleneck for most people is simply getting on camera.
Oh, for sure.
What happens if you are running a business and you physically do not have the time to sit in front of a lens today? Or let's say you're expanding globally and you need to deliver a perfectly articulated welcome message to clients in like 5 different languages simultaneously. What are our sources telling us about solving that specific problem?
Well, the sources highlight 2 distinct platforms tackling this, and they approach it from slightly different angles.
Okay.
The first is HeyGen. The documentation positions HeyGen as the premier tool for personalized and translated video at scale.
At scale, right.
It offers a free tier for testing, and they have prioritized a remarkably clean interface. But the real technical achievement here is its AI avatar creation and voice cloning capabilities.
Wait, let's look at the voice cloning mechanism for a second. I want to understand how that actually works under the hood. Is it just like splicing together audio clips of things I've said in the past?
Not at all. It is building an acoustic model of your unique vocal identity.
Okay.
When you upload a few minutes of clean audio, the system isn't copying your words. It is analyzing your phonemes.
The phonemes?
Yeah, the distinct units of sound that make up your speech. It maps your pitch, your natural pacing, your timbre, and even your specific accent.
Wow.
Once it builds that mathematical model, it can synthesize entirely new sentences that you have never spoken, applying your exact vocal characteristics to that new text.
It's basically a digital stunt double.
That's a great way to put it.
You feed it a script, and the avatar, which looks like you and sounds exactly like you, delivers the pitch. That fundamentally changes how I would think about localizing a marketing campaign.
Oh, completely.
You could theoretically have your stunt double running an ongoing outreach campaign, speaking fluent Mandarin or Spanish, while you are asleep.
Precisely. HeyGen thrives on that hyper-personalized dynamic output. But the sources provide a very deliberate contrast with another platform called Synthesia.
Right, I've heard of that one.
Yeah. Synthesia is crowned as the champion for a different environment, entirely corporate training, onboarding, and internal communications.
Okay, so more internal stuff.
Exactly. For context, their starter plan is currently priced at $29 a month, which gives you about 120 minutes of generated video per year.
So why the distinct separation? If HeyGen does the personalized avatar so well, what is Synthesia doing differently that makes it the corporate standard?
It really comes down to architectural structure. Synthesia is highly structured. It relies on more deterministic models rather than purely generative ones.
Meaning what, exactly?
But what that means is the output is incredibly stable and predictable.
Okay, but if Synthesia is highly structured and, less flexible for creative content, does that just mean it's essentially a factory for boring corporate training videos?
What?
I mean, are we just automating the most soul-crushing HR compliance videos imaginable, or is there an actual strategic reason for that rigidity?
What's fascinating here is that in the corporate world, constraints actually breed consistency, which is a massive operational advantage.
Okay, I can see that.
Imagine you are the head of HR rolling out a new, legally mandated safety protocol across a company with employees in 14 different countries.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Right. And in that specific scenario, you do not want creative flexibility.
Yeah.
You do not want the AI hallucinating a weird hand gesture or taking a dramatic pause.
Yeah, you don't want the avatar going off script.
Exactly. You want absolute, unwavering precision. You need the exact same tone, the exact same pacing, and the exact same visual structure delivered flawlessly in 14 languages.
That makes perfect sense.
Synthesia's rigidity ensures that the critical message does not degrade. It removes the unpredictable variables from the equation.
The boringness is a feature, not a bug. You don't want your corporate safety video doing a dynamic TikTok transition. You want it locked down and legally compliant.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have our digital stunt double and our corporate avatars. But what if I don't want to write a brand new script for these avatars to read?
Right. Starting from scratch is hard.
Yeah, what if I already have hundreds of hours of old Zoom webinars or a giant text file of blog posts? Do I have to feed that into the avatar? Or can the AI just salvage the original footage and assets I already possess?
The sources referred to the tools that solve this as content alchemists, specifically highlighting Pictory and Descript.
Content alchemists, I like that.
Let's look at Pictory first.
Okay.
It is designed entirely around the concept of recycling.
Okay.
It ingests the assets you already have, so rich scripts, slide decks, audio podcasts, and sprawling Zoom recordings, and transmutes them into polished short-form videos.
Well, turning a text document or slide deck into a video is relatively straightforward, right? I mean, the system is just reading the text. Yep. But how does the AI know what parts of a rambling hour-long Zoom call are actually usable video material? My Zoom calls have 10 minutes of people asking, "Can you hear me?" and dogs barking.
Oh, everyone's Zoom calls are like that.
Yeah, right. So how does Pictory find the actual gold in all of that dirt?
It relies heavily on advanced natural language processing, or NLP. The AI does not watch the video the way a human does.
What does it do?
It analyzes the transcribed text of the spoken words using complex keyword clustering logic. It uses algorithms similar to TF-IDF.
TF-IDF.
Term frequency inverse document frequency.
Meaning it's looking for the statistical importance of certain words?
Exactly. It filters out the filler words
Yeah.
and identifies high-density clusters of industry-specific terms.
Oh, that's smart.
And beyond that, it scans for structural markers. It knows that phrases like, "the key takeaway here is," or "to summarize," usually precede a valuable point.
Like a cheat code for editing.
Yeah. It also analyzes the pacing and cadence of the speaker to detect when they are delivering a core thesis versus just making small talk. It literally scores the transcript sentence by sentence, extracts the highest scoring segments, and splices those specific video clips into a highlight reel.
So it's acting as a story producer, not just an automated editor.
That's a great distinction.
That fundamentally changes how I would record a meeting. Knowing that an NLP algorithm is going to parse the transcript later, I would purposely speak in clear declarative sentences and leave long pauses between thoughts just to give the AI obvious cut points.
You are adapting your workflow to optimize the machine's output, which is exactly how these tools are meant to be used.
Yeah.
And speaking of optimizing the cut, the sources point to Descript for the actual editing phase.
I've heard a lot about Descript.
Descript completely flips the traditional editing paradigm. It is highlighted as the premier tool for podcast video and talking head content because you edit the video by editing the text transcript.
It's like editing a video using Microsoft Word.
Yes, exactly.
If you see a paragraph in the transcript that you don't like, or a sentence where you repeated yourself, you just highlight the text with your mouse and hit the delete key. And the video instantly cuts that section out.
It feels like magic the first time you do it.
But how is the text bound to the video file so seamlessly?
It uses sophisticated speech-to-text algorithms that assign a specific timestamp to every single text token, every word and syllable.
Oh, I see.
When you delete the word in the text document, the software executes a microcut at that exact millisecond on the video timeline.
Which removes the technical barrier of traditional timeline rendering entirely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't need hand-eye coordination to perfectly slice an audio waveform with a razor tool. If you can delete a typo in a document, you can edit a video.
And the broader implication is that business owners who are generally very proficient at written communication like crafting emails or memos can now edit video using a skill they already possess.
It's a huge unlock.
It bridges the gap between the thought process and the final product, allowing you to focus on the structure of your argument rather than the mechanics of dropping a frame.
Okay, we've solved getting on camera, and we've solved repurposing existing webinars. But what if I am not repurposing an old meeting and I don't need a corporate avatar?
Okay, a different scenario.
Yeah, what if I'm a solo creator on a laptop and I just need to build a social media campaign today from scratch without downloading a 50-gigabyte editing suite that will overheat my computer?
The sources pivot here to what we can call the speed demons, VEED, CapCut, and InVideo AI.
The speed demons.
Accessibility and sheer velocity are the defining metrics for this category. Starting with VEED, the documentation emphasizes that VEED is entirely browser-based.
Entirely in the browser.
There is absolutely no software download required. They offer a free tier, which includes a watermark and a late plan for $24 a month.
Now, processing video inside a web browser used to be a nightmare. It would crash instantly.
Oh, it's awful.
How are they achieving polished output without local software?
They are leveraging cloud-based rendering and WebGL technology. Instead of relying on your laptop's local graphics processing unit, your GPU, to render the heavy video files, VEED offloads that intense computational work to their massive server farms.
That makes sense.
Your browser is essentially just a remote control communicating with their servers.
That dramatically shifts how a remote team collaborates.
Oh, completely.
If the processing isn't tied to a specific local machine, you no longer have to pass massive hard drives around or wait for huge files to upload to Dropbox. Anyone with an internet connection can jump into the browser and tweak the project.
It democratizes the hardware requirements. You can render 4K video on a basic Chromebook.
That's wild.
But if we're talking about pure, unadulterated speed for social media content creation, the sources explicitly crown CapCut as the current leader.
CapCut is everywhere right now.
It is. And the defining feature right now is its integration of AI agents that automate the entire workflow in one location.
AI agents, meaning like multiple specialized AI systems talking to each other.
Correct. It is a multi-agent framework. You have an agent trained specifically on script writing.
Right.
Once it generates the text, it passes that data via JSON parameters to the asset generation agent, which curates or creates the visual media.
Wow.
And then that agent passes the timing and visual data to the editing agent, which compiles the timeline, adds trending music, and applies transitions. The entire sequential process happens in seconds.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, but also a bit concerning.
How so?
If CapCut has an agent writing the script, an agent curating the visuals, and an agent making the cuts, why am I even here?
That's the existential question, isn't it?
Yeah. If the machine does the writing, the filming, and the editing, aren't we just building robots that make videos for other robots to watch on social media? Are we losing the actual human voice of the business owner entirely?
If we connect this to the bigger picture of AI integration, we realize these tools function as co-pilots, not autonomous replacements.
Co-pilot.
Yeah. A multi-agent framework can compile a video in seconds, but it does not possess an inherent understanding of your specific business goals, nor does it empathize with the nuanced pain points of your local market.
Right. It doesn't know my customers.
Exactly. The human's role shifts dramatically. You transition from being a manual laborer, the person writing every word and rendering every cut, to becoming a creative director.
A creative director. So I am providing the initial strategic prompt, reviewing the multi-agent output, adjusting the tone to fit my brand, and approving the final cut.
Yes.
The AI is just my production crew executing the vision at light speed.
Exactly. You are the tastemaker, providing the guardrails.
Yeah.
And that concept of directing a production crew brings us to the final tool highlighted in the stack InVideo AI.
Okay.
The standout feature detailed in the sources is its conversational editing interface.
Which sounds a lot like sitting in a dimly lit editing bay in Hollywood, drinking wildly expensive coffee and barking orders over the shoulder of a world-class editor.
That is actually an incredibly accurate analogy for the underlying mechanism.
Really?
Yeah. You are not manually dragging clips on a timeline. You modify the video by typing natural language commands. You type, make the intro punchier, or swap out the shot of the city for a shot of a forest, or change the background music to something more upbeat.
But how does typing make the intro punchier translate into actual video editing?
It acts as a translation layer. The platform uses a large language model to parse the intent behind your English prompt.
Okay.
It understands that punchier likely means faster cuts, higher energy music, and perhaps larger, bolder text overlays.
It intuits what you mean.
Yes. The LLM translates your conversational intent into complex JSON timeline instructions, executing dozens of micro-edits instantly.
That's incredible.
Furthermore, the sources note InVideo AI's robust capabilities for multi-language marketing, allowing teams to orchestrate complex global campaigns simply by describing what they want to achieve in plain English.
It is a massive paradigm shift. We've gone from needing a physical studio, a camera crew, an editor, and a translator, to needing a laptop and a clear strategic vision of what we want to communicate.
When we pull all of these analytical threads together, the core synthesis for the listener is profound.
Yeah.
The overarching lesson from these sources is that the technical barriers have been entirely dismantled. You do not need to be a software developer, and you do not need to understand color grading or audio mixing.
Right.
To utilize video effectively today, you simply need to audit your workflow and match your specific business requirement to the correct AI mechanism.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? The goal of diving into these sources was to eliminate the paralysis of information overload.
Because it can be very overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
When you see 50 different AI tools launch every week, it feels like you need to learn all of them. But you don't. You just need the one tool that solves your immediate bottleneck. If you need to send hyper-personalized sales outreach but hate being on camera, HeyGen is your acoustic model. If your corporate HR department needs deterministic, highly structured training videos in multiple languages, you deploy Synthesia.
Right.
If you have a hard drive full of old Zoom webinars gathering digital dust, you let Pictory's NLP sift for the gold, or use Descript to edit the transcript like a Word document.
And if speed is the goal.
Yeah, if you are a solo creator who needs to post aggressive social media campaigns from a coffee shop, you leverage VEED's cloud rendering, CapCut's multi-agent speed, or InVideo AI's conversational translation layer. You just pick the one that clears the logjam on your desk today.
It's a highly pragmatic approach. But as we analyze the sheer capability of these models to produce flawlessly lit, perfectly articulated, and seamlessly translated content, it raises a critical question worth pondering.
Okay, what's that?
As perfectly polished video becomes entirely commoditized and accessible to absolutely everyone, what happens to the inherent value of human imperfection?
Oh, wow.
When every brand can generate a slick, zero-mistake video at the push of a button, will raw, unedited, slightly awkward footage eventually become the new premium standard for authenticity, simply because the flaws are the only cryptographic proof that a human actually made it?
When perfection becomes cheap, the flaws become the luxury. That is a brilliant thought to leave on. The next time you are tripping over that extension cord, you might want to leave that stumble in the final cut. It might be the most valuable part of your video. Keep exploring, keep creating, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.